Keep your radio dial right here. You're locked into the hottest news station on the planet. Hot 702.5 in FM sound. Blazing today's hip hop, R&B, and pop music. Keeping your radio on fire. Bringing you the hottest, realest, riskiest talk shows live 24/7 on hot7025fm.com.
It's your main man 360 the Poet from the Morning Wood. And are you looking for the perfect drink? Well, you found it. Mimosa Royale is the perfect combination of California sparkling white wine and natural juice that is both tasty and refreshing. No artificial colors or flavors, no sugar added, and it's gluten-free. As the world's first ready-to-drink mimosa, Mimosa Royale is perfect for any occasion, day or night. You no longer have to drink 12 of those seltzers just to get that perfect buzz. At 8% alcohol, Mimosa Royale is the perfect drink to party with. Offered in a variety of flavors and sizes, you are bound to find a Mimosa Royale that you'll love. We have berry, mango, apple, and orange, with more flavors to come. Mimosa Royale is the most award-winning flavored wine that serves in bottles or cans. You can find them online at drinkmimosa.com or find them at your local liquor store. Ask for it by name. Mimosa Royale.
Hi. Hey.
What's up? All your favorite artists.
Check it out. Say my name. DJ Khaled. This is Mila J. Bruno Mars.
On hot7025fm.com.
Hello. Happy Wednesday. I know it's crazy because I haven't talked to y'all since last year. You shouldn't know that was coming. And as you know, for every year, I do a little cleanse on a shaving, everything goes. So, I actually like it though. I look pretty young. I look pretty young, so I'm happy about that. I'm very happy about that. But all in all, happy New Year. I haven't seen y'all talk to y'all since last year, so happy New Year. I really hope y'all are doing well this year. I know the holidays are over. I'm excited that holidays are over. New Year's is over. We have 2 birthdays, October, November, Christmas, then Diamond birthday is New Year's. It's just, I'm always broke. So if you got any donations, please send them my way. I'm kidding. But last year, I told y'all, I said, I just hope you go into the new year working on your mental, taking care of yourself. That's all I ask you to do is try to start with that as the number one priority. So that way all your other New Year's resolutions can kind of just come as they go. Do what you got to do. Keep them as you can. Stay consistent with them. They may not all work out, and that's okay. We are human. We have flaws. We are flawed. We will not be perfect. That is a goal that is impossible to reach due to the fact that it's just nothing is going to be perfect. We're always going to want to do better, be better, improve, and grow. It is what it is. A situation may be perfect for you because you thrive so well in it, but that's a different kind of story, right? But all in all, with that being said, I really do hope that y'all are going to come into this year, 2026, and just, look your mental in the mirror and just say, hey man, this year I'm gonna tackle you. This year I'm gonna own you this year. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna tame you. I'm gonna make sure that, I can take care of you, through thick and thin. You know what I mean? But all in all, good evening, happy Wednesday. This last week with New Year's and kids going back to school and, it's been I'll say for the most part, it's a couple hiccups in the road, maybe with work here and there with, because work is just always hiccups. So you just got to find the best way to navigate through them. But it's been a week, it's been a week. I've been real tired this week, but it's also been a productive week. So I'm not really complaining about it because there was a lot that got done. A lot of things got handled, situated. I had a day off, which was kind of cool. My sleep is a little weird right now, but I don't know what's going on with that. But I'll get that under control. Rather, what do you want to say? Sooner than later. But other than that, I don't really have too much to say about the week. I'm really trying to make sure I don't forget nothing that happened that I wanted to tell y'all about. I was just thinking there was something in there that I wanted to tell y'all about, and I'm like, man, I can't even think about what it was now. All in all, though, but just know I enjoyed New Year's. very much so. The weekend was good to me with the kids. I worked a little bit at the mini golf, but overall, like I got some kind of rest this weekend. I plan on doing it again this upcoming weekend if I can. But we'll see. We'll see. Anyway, I do want to get into the topic for today's show. I don't want to keep, trying to drag it along there on that one. I just wanted to, I'm really trying to make sure I don't forget nothing in my week that I wanted to. Oh, there, it's right in front of my face. It is something I wanted to show y'all. So I don't know if y'all know, we went and took family pictures, and they finally delivered the actual print to me this past week. And here it is. Oh yeah. Yep, that's it. Family photo, Pretty excited about that. I'm gonna, probably find some way to take it somewhere, see if I can get it enlarged, if that's possible, get it blown up, But I'm happy about it. It looks great, It's a nice. I've always wanted to have a family photo. And this one, every time I got one, it was more kids being added into it. So now it's all of the kids are there and us. So it's great. It's great. It makes me feel like, home is home. I'm happy about that. But yeah, things, that's what it was. I was like, I know it was something I was forgetting to say because I know I wanted to tell y'all about something that I was excited about. But all in all, hey, there you go. But for today's show, I do want to talk about the fact that when you are tired of trying, like the truth about emotionally giving up. And I mean that in the aspect of all things when it comes to a job, your goals, when it comes to a relationship, a friendship, a partnership, whatever you want to say, bad habits. Like I want to talk about just kind of emotionally giving up on that kind of stuff, what it looks like. Because I think a lot of people have it confused when they still react emotionally in a situation, but state that they have given up on it, Um, because if you've given up on it, then I don't think emotionally you should react anymore. I think the next thing you will be doing is getting yourself out of that situation, going to find a new job, going to disassociate with that friend, or cutting off a business partner for bad practices. Whatever the case may be, I feel like you'd want to get yourself out of it if you were no longer emotionally, or if you were emotionally given up. Um, Kind of just touch a little bit on it. I had some conversations over the weekend, and not just weekend, over last, we're kind of reflecting on the year for 2025. With people just seeing like what we think we could have done better, what we plan on trying to do to make that better, anything that can possibly help us grow and be productive. And of course, with everything going on, we want to hold each other accountable. Me personally, I have learned to surround myself with people that learn to hold you accountable in the way you need to be held accountable. And I say that to say, if your friend knows that you take everything personal, they're going to hold you accountable in a certain way because they know how you operate. I'm not saying it's going to be disrespectful or rude or anything of that nature, but the way they're going to approach you about it is going to be a way that you'll understand because it's coming from them, which is a good thing, which is a cool thing. Um, so we were kind of just reflecting with each other, and I'm glad that I've learned to really just like surround myself with people that can just, point out things that are either I don't even see that I have a bad habit with something, or maybe possibly there's something that I stopped doing and I didn't even notice I stopped, but it's a good thing I did. Or if there's something that needs to be changed or something that needs to be worked on, they can point that out to me and let it be known. I'm just glad to be surrounded with people that kind of know what accountability looks like, and how to approach the situation in the best way possible. I know people can get very, they can be a very touchy subject when you talk about accountability with certain individuals. And I think more so if you start doing it to where you make it like you're wanting to help them grow, it's easier for them to kind of comprehend what you're talking about. But today I do want to talk about emotionally giving up. Again, I'm not talking about quitting. I'm not talking about leaving. I'm not talking about walking away. But that quiet place. I know you all have had it before. I'm sure y'all had because I have before in the past. But that quiet place you reach when you are tired of trying, that you tired of explaining yourself, you're tired of going over this 3 million times. You don't want to do it anymore. You're like, I'm over it, I'm over it, I'm over it. You tired of hoping someone will finally just understand what you're trying to, tell them what you're trying to explain to them. Um, Emotionally giving up, it happens with your goals. It's going to happen with your friendships. It's going to happen with your family. It's going to happen with bad habits, believe it or not. For example, everybody know me, man. They used to say, turn up king. I used to like to party and drink, and drinking was my jam. Like I would drink anybody under the table. But one day I just kind of looked up and I was just like, what am I really? I'm not really getting nothing out of this. Like, I'm not really getting anything from this. What is the point? Like, why did I? You know what I mean? So I just kind of woke up and was just like, I don't want to do that no more. I'm good. I don't want to do that no more. And then the good thing about that is it came at a point in time when I first had a child, my first son, my firstborn, Terrence. So it was even easier because I'm all like, cool, I got a new habit, being a parent. I got a new habit of being a parent. You know what I mean? Um, and that's been a habit I've been through the ups and downs with. I have not been perfect at it. I have been flawed. I have messed up. I have made mistakes. I have learned. I have grew from it over time. And till this day, I still say there are things that are going to happen later on in life with these children that I may mess up or make a mistake on again. But I will not quit trying. I will not give up. You know what I mean? It is my duty until they hit that age of 21 to help them mature and become responsible adults. And I will do that. I will let them do that. If they choose to become adults and not want to be responsible, hey, as long as you are stable and you good and mentally know what you got going on and you're not, dysfunctional like that, you are free to do as you please. You are free to do as you please. Um, but even with it happening with bad habits, one of the deepest pains, that people talk about it happens with is inside of a relationship. Again, that could be a relationship with a partner, with a friend, whatever the case may be. But those few things is like one of the pains that people kind of, how do I say, it's hard. Well, we're gonna get into it. Let me explain why that is said. 'Cause most people don't leave because they stop loving you. Let's just be honest. I'm one of those people that feel like you never stop loving anybody you've loved before. I think you may find somebody new to love and you may love them more possibly, or it's just the type of love you have with them is different from the one you have with somebody else. So I don't think you really stop loving them. I just think you find somebody and you love them in a different way. I think they leave because they stop believing change was possible. I think a lot of people were so upset with the fact that change would not happen. They forced themselves to walk away when there was no other option. We can't take that off the table like it's not a possibility. Let's be honest. By the time somebody walks out of your life, they already left emotionally a long time ago, right? It's like that whole saying when you see a woman and she's putting somebody out, or you see somebody putting somebody out, if you see them set up everything calm, it's nice, everything folded, it's boxed up, it's arranged, there's a 98% chance that they are done. They are completely done because they didn't let nothing affect them by putting your stuff out for you or even putting it to the side, telling you to come and grab it. Maybe it's not outside, maybe they're just packing it up. But if you come to get it and it's all nicely put up right there for you, stacked in ways that you need and organized, yeah, you might as well just take your stuff and go. Don't try to talk. That person is most likely done. But then you will meet that person that when you come, your stuff is all out on the yard or all over the balcony or all over the front door, whatever the case may be. You have a chance. You have an opportunity to make it right. When that person is still acting out of emotions, they have not given up just yet. You have one last opportunity, I would believe, in order to make things right and change. If you don't, after that, and you come back and they are packing it up and organizing it for you, I just told you, just take it and go because you done ruined your last shot. I'm just being honest. That conversation you're gonna have, all they're gonna do is make you feel worse than what you already feel. For the simple fact is that you put them over and they ain't do nothing to you. Emotionally giving up is what happens when effort turns into exhaustion. You know what I mean? When hope turns into acceptance. Like what it's saying is when all that effort you think you putting in and you just like, you know what? Like, I just don't think I got it in me no more. I don't think I got it in me no more. I think I'm gonna just go ahead and call it a day. That's what they're talking about right there. When effort turns into exhaustion, you tired of putting the effort because you see it's not getting anywhere, and it just keeps making you go crazier and crazier and crazier. Mentally, you like, I just don't want to deal with that. Or when hope turns into acceptance, you know what they mean by that? Huh? It's a Fanta, by the way, no alcohol. Um, what they mean by that is, you know how you always say, "Man, I hope this person change. Man, I hope that situation changes. Man, I hope the situation at work changes. Man, I hope this changes." It get to a point where you feel like, you know what? I've accepted that it's not gonna change. So now I have to plan accordingly from here. What do I do from here? Now that I know things are not gonna change, things are not gonna be different, what do I do from here? Where do I go? That's what the situation comes down to. Or when love turns into distance. Again, because I don't think you stop unloving somebody. I think that you just slowly start, all right, I'm gonna love you from a distance. I'm gonna push away for a second so you can be you, and I'm gonna go ahead and just work on myself and be me. I think that's what, I'm just being logically in my mind. This is how I start processing things. This is how I look at it. It all starts with communication. Listen. You start communicating, you start letting it be known what the issues are. You start letting it be known what can be changed, what needs to be changed, what needs to be worked on. Again, no matter where that may be, at work, at home, friendship, your relationship, whatever. You start with communicating what the issue is and expressing how to get that taken care of, right? Then at some point, or not at some point, then throughout the entire process, you're being patient. You have nothing but patience through the process, trying to get it to be worked on, trying to get someone to change and do better and be better, or trying to get a situation to change or be better. Then you're waiting. You're just waiting for it, working on it, waiting on it, waiting on it, waiting on it. Then you're like, you know what? Maybe my expectations are too high for this. Let me lower those a little bit. Let me lower those a little bit and just see if I can at least get that met. And then you start to realize, dang, even the lower expectations aren't being met. Even that's an issue, that's a problem. Then at some point, finally, you're going to start that detachment process. You're going to start detaching from whatever or whoever it is that is making you feel that way. That is unhealthy to the mind. You are going to start detaching from them. And again, it's going to be a random moment, random thing. But when you do that, you're going to be like, wow, I never thought possible. Wow, I never thought I could do that. Wow, I never thought I can create that space. You will find out how much you can really do when you are truly just fed up with the situation or person, either or. But you don't stop just like loving somebody first. You stop trusting that the situation will just never change. That's what you start doing. And then you like, well, like I've tried for 4 months, 2 years, 8 years. It don't matter what it was. I've tried for so long and it hasn't changed. So I can't trust that it's going to change anymore. I have to accept that the situation is going to remain how it is, and I have to process things and move accordingly. Fortunately, unfortunately, it depends on however you want to look at it, to be so honest with you, right? But when a person reaches that point, they are already grieving the situation, the relationship, the friendship. They're already grieving that because they feel like, what more can I do? They feel like, what more can I do? I'm not asking for too much. Am I asking the wrong person? Am I asking the wrong job? Am I asking the wrong friend? Like it starts having you contemplating like what else is there for me to do to help you create the change that need is needed for us to improve or be better, or for the situation to improve or be better. Because sometimes you got to look at yourself and say, you're that person I got to talk to about it. You know what I mean? You're the person that I have to have that conversation with. Like you giving up on yourself, you giving up on your, like, you have to have those conversations sometimes. Again, y'all, like, you have to, with a mental check-in, what do you think? You're just thinking about it. It's okay to have those conversations out loud. Just don't do it in front of people. Don't do it in front of No, 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 in all seriousness though. Like it's cool to check in with yourself. Like, hey man, am I good? What am I doing? How do I feel about this? Like, just do a mental check-in with yourself. Make sure you hit all the notes, get it going on. Giving up is not when you think people are just yelling about it. I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore. I quit that job. I don't want to be friends. You think the yelling is the giving up? No, it doesn't look like them arguing back and forth about it, letting it be known what they want and what they need. It's not about the fighting, and it doesn't always look like cheating. What's crazy enough does not always even look like cheating. Giving up, it looks like silence, bro. Silence. When somebody is going mute on you and they don't want to react to you in no way, they don't want to have the conversation. They're not reacting emotionally like they used to. They're just kind of walking around in their own world of peace, calmness. They gave up. They didn't gave up already. You didn't put them to a point where they was like, I don't have no other option. And I don't know what to do at this point. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just go ahead and give up. Because I'm telling you right now, giving up looks like it looks like indifference. It looks like, no longer explaining yourself or no longer correcting that bad behavior, um, or the behavior in general that's probably causing the issues. Because sometimes it's not bad behavior that could be causing it. We'll get into that another day. We'll get into that another day. But it's no longer, again, correcting that behavior, no longer asking for effort. You're just like, you see them slowly, just like, you know what? I think I've said enough. I think I've explained enough. I think I've told you enough. I've told you enough. I've told them enough. I've told the CEO. I've told the garbage man. I've told everybody, the janitor, everyone. The most dangerous moment in a friendship or at a job or in a relationship is not the fight. It's the moment the fight is no longer worth having. Once you see somebody is done fighting for something or someone, man, it don't matter what you say to them. They're not motivated to fight no more. If the other person fighting and knock them out, they would be willing to get knocked out at this point. Go for it. I've exhausted. We at the 12th round in the last minute, and I just can't swing no more. So go ahead and do it. I can't swing no more. When someone stops asking you to show up, do you know what that means? Do you know where that is coming from? Technically speaking, when somebody asks you, stop asking you to show up, that's because they are preparing to show themselves out. That means they may be going to get a new job. They may be leaving the relationship. They may be leaving the friendship. They may be leaving the situation. The crazy part about it is a lot of people are huge on trying to make somebody feel guilty because they have finally had enough and was just like, you know what? I'm not saying you're a bad person. What I'm saying is you have certain habits, certain traits that I don't like and I don't want around me. You have certain things about you that are just negative in my opinion, and I don't want it. I don't like it. And them telling them somebody that, being honest and transparent, you will get mad at them and it becomes a fight now for you. Because I'm telling you right now, if they had the courage to come up and say that to you, you are going to be fighting by yourself. They already don't give a fuck. You're going to be fighting by yourself. They don't care. But they were care enough to be honest with you and tell you what it is about you that they don't like. And then they're the bad guy because they were honest with you about your behavior and what bothers them. Hey, teach his own. Teach his own. Now, sometimes giving up is healthy. Sometimes giving up is healthy. I'm not saying it's always a bad thing. It's always a yin and yang. You know me, I got to give you both sides of the quarter. Um, it's choosing peace after repeated effort, right? People are like, "Oh, giving up. That you ain't even try. You ain't even try." No, 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 no. What does the word giving up mean? That means that I've tried so much that I'm just like I'm over it. I'm done trying. I think you know what? I want to get the definition of giving up because I'm pretty sure it says something in there about done trying. Pretty sure. Pretty sure. Um, but again, it's choosing peace after repeated effort. I'm not gonna keep trying to put this effort in and get you to understand where I'm coming from, or get them to understand where I'm coming from, just for it not to work out. It's setting boundaries after being ignored. Like if I told you I can only work on Sunday through Thursday, why are you putting me on the schedule on Friday or Saturday? I can't be there. I got other obligations. I won't be there. You know what I mean? Or If I tell you that I don't like pickles on my sandwiches, but I want a sandwich, you keep making me a sandwich with pickles. No, I don't want to eat it no more. The pickles done already tainted the sandwich. You know? I don't. I'm glad that we don't eat pickles on our sandwiches in this house. 'Cause I eat a lot of sandwiches, so I'd be pissed to find pickles on my actual sandwich. Um, Sometimes it's protecting your mental health. You know, I told y'all again. I want you to start the year off by making sure your mental is always there. Work on your mental first. Everything else will fall into place. So if part of working on your mental health or protecting it is giving up, then again, it can be a healthy sign up, especially if it's a bad habit or toxic thing you're giving up on. It's accepting who someone or something is instead of who you hoped that person or that thing would be. But sometimes giving up is very unhealthy. Okay. Let me explain this part to it because most of you all will give up without doing any of this. And that's why I think it's unhealthy. Okay. It's avoiding those hard conversations. Everybody say, I don't like being uncomfortable. I don't like having a conversation that's going to make me uncomfortable. You don't like growing? Did you not know that uncomfortability means you're growing? I did. I'm just saying. If you want to grow, you're going to have to learn how to be uncomfortable. Unfortunately, that's the way to get there. You want to know how to get to the top? You want to know how to get better and improve? You're going to be uncomfortable. You're going to be very uncomfortable. Is that a problem? No, it's not an issue. You grow from it. You do better from it. You learn the situation on where you need to be, where you want to be. You get better, you get better, you get better, you get better. You know, those hard conversations, uncomfortable conversations you're scared to have are the conversations that will get that change that you want created. Nobody's a mind reader. How do I know you have an issue with something if you're not going to speak up and have that conversation with me? Because I know if I got an issue with something, I'm speaking up. I'm speaking up. One way or another, I'm speaking up. It's going to happen. It's shutting down emotionally. You know, yeah, I don't give a no, I don't care. I ain't gonna put no effort into this no more. I'm gonna just keep it to myself. I ain't gonna talk. I ain't gonna spread myself. I ain't gonna show no love. I ain't gonna do no dates. I ain't doing nothing. Okay, don't do nothing. See if it get anywhere. When is doing nothing gotten you anywhere in life? It's choosing distance instead of communication. Like you would rather give the cold shoulder than to communicate the issue. Now I understand again if you tried this already, because again, this is if you ain't doing this yet. If you tried doing all of this and then you go on distance because you're not trying to communicate, I understand because again, at some point you're like, what more can I do or say to get you to understand what the issues are? And for you to keep coming back to me telling me that you don't understand what the problem is, it's like a slap to my goddamn face. That's what happens when you have emotionally given up after you've tried doing it so much. I expect that part. But if you ain't even tried it once or set the door to open it to even inch in and discover it, what are you giving up for? You ain't even did the work. You ain't even did the work. It's disappearing instead of being honest. Hey, some of y'all are like my dad. Y'all are great magicians. Y'all got wonderful disappearing acts. You know what I mean? People in general. But we have to learn to get through that and get past that. We have to learn to be honest and respectful. That's the key part that I like to put with that. It's not about just being honest. Like I want y'all to be really respectful as well while being honest. Some things you have to kind of tiptoe around, and some things you may have to be a little aggressive about, but you can always be respectful. I believe you can always be respectful. Um, Giving up is not weak, you know. Giving up without honesty is weak. Giving up without trying, without effort, without communicating, without trying to fix the actual issue and resolve it, that's weak to me. But giving up because you've tried everything you can and it just hasn't gotten you anywhere. It hasn't gotten the situation to move better. It hasn't gotten you out of that job you're at. It hasn't gotten you out of that relationship you're in. Hey, I got it. I get you. You got to do what you got to do. You got to do what you got to do. Now, This one here. Cause man, I want y'all to understand that agreement means action. You agree to it, you do it right then and there. You let me I'm gonna say this real loud and clear for y'all. If you agree to change, you do not get to pick when you start working on that change. You are to immediately report into work and start working on that change on the very next second after making that agreement. You do not get to control the reaction to somebody else when you relapse into old habits or behavior from the change that's wanted. You do not get to create attitudes. You do not get to create arguments, fighting, none of that when you are working on something that needs to be changed that you agree to. You don't get to wait till you don't get to wait to start that. That work starts the moment you make that agreement. You don't get to wait till next week. No, not after you done calm down. And no, not when it's more convenient for you. Change delayed is trust destroyed. So if you want to keep prolonging the fact that you're not going to change something or a situation, don't get upset with the other person when they finally accept that you're not going to change. So they change. They may change locations. They may change jobs. They may change friends. They may change relationship status. There's so many things that can go to that. They may change. You cannot be upset if they change and you still haven't even started to put the work in. Obviously, they have been very patient enough to try to give you an opportunity to change, but they feel like you are they that would look to them like a slap in the face, whether it's your job or your friends or relationship. That's a slap in the face when you have agreed to commit to make a change at something and you do not do it and start on that immediately to make that change work. I'm not saying it's going to change overnight. You know, Rome wasn't built in a day, but anybody on this planet can see effort when it's given. They can. They can. I'm just being honest. When you tell your partner that you're going to do better, when you tell your job that you're going to do better, when you tell your friends that you are going to do better, I feel like you are making a contract with your heart or their heart, right? Except for the job, kind of just making a contract with your paycheck. That's a little different. But when it comes to your friends or relationship or family, when you commit to make a change and you agree and you tell them you will do better, you're making a contract with their heart. And contracts do not work if it's one sided and that one side keeps postponing the responsibility. It doesn't work. The contract at some point becomes null and void because nothing has been going. Let's put it like this: if you are an NBA player and you just signed a $10 million contract, and they said you got to make at least 10 buckets a year, 10, something slight, but you go out there and tell them you stand on the bench the whole time, they're gonna give you so many games before they say, all right, we're gonna get him out of here. We're gonna get him out of here. Because you done voided that contract now. You ain't doing your job. Right? So when you do that with family, friends, or partners, and you don't work on that change, you kind of voiding the contract out that you agreed to. And now upset that they choose to let you void the contract instead of keep delaying the inevitable. Because I'm a firm believer. If you want to be somewhere or with somebody, you are definitely going to make that change 10 toes down. Let me tell you something. If I don't know, man, I'm trying to think of something bad okay, I'm gonna just throw a scenario out there. Let's say if Diamond was upset because I talked to the same, she could be a friend, but I talked to the same girl every day, but the conversations are conversations that a married man should not be having with a female friend, right? So let's say every day I'm having these conversations and then Diamond finally comes to me and says, I'm very uncomfortable with that friendship solely based on the conversations you all have together. I will immediately correct the situation. That friend, I probably wouldn't speak to them. Honestly, I would even ask Diamond if she wanted me to block them, make her feel more reassured. But immediately, right then and there, I would work on that to correct that issue, that bad behavior that she did not like, because I want the marriage to work, right? I want it to work out. So, of course, I'm going to initiate and create the change she's requesting from me right away because I don't want there to be no confusion, no delays, no nothing, and knowing that I want to be right here with no ifs, ands, or buts. You feel me? You don't get to throw stones and then hide your hands. You don't get to cause the damage and then avoid the repair. That's just not fair. It's not. You have to understand certain situations are creations of your own actions. Every action has a reactions. I I I like to say it like this. When you commit to growth, you should be standing at attention, just like you in the military. I mean that. When you commit to change and growing, you should commit right then and there and change and grow immediately and start working on it. Every time you see that bad habit approach, you should immediately have an alert in your head to catch it, stop, and try to approach it in a different way immediately. If you continue to let the same bad habits control you after you agree to change, you cannot get upset at the other person for the way that they react, or the job for the way that they react, or your friend the way that they react, or your spouse at the way that they react. When you have chosen to completely ignore every opportunity they've given you to change based on the own selfish fact that you just don't want to do it. You don't want to do it. There's no other excuse to me. If you want to be somewhere with somebody or something in a situation, if you want to be there and they need something that's going to change and it's not nothing unhealthy and you refuse to do it, you just don't want to be there. You don't. There's no excuses about that because if you wanted to be there, you would make sure there's nothing you can do to lose your spot in the position you are at, or the place you are at, or the person you are with, or the friend that you have. You would not do anything to jeopardize that if you really wanted to be there. You would do the work and put in the effort and make the change. That's just me. I've seen it with people. I've done it for people that I wanted to be around or be with or be cool with or have a certain job. I've committed to those changes because I wanted to be there. So I don't understand. So you're gonna have to help me understand because I don't understand. You know, until your partner can clearly see the change and trust that you won't relapse into old behavior, until your job can see that change, until your friends can see that change, until your family can see that change, you have to understand that consistency is the only apology you'll be able to give. It is. Discipline is the only proof you'll be able to show. Discipline is the only proof you'll be able to show. And time is the only evidence you will have at your side. I'm telling you, that's how it's going to work. You cannot get upset at the fact that a timeline is not working over the fact that you're not putting in the right amount of effort that you should be putting in. It just doesn't work that way. It just doesn't work that way. You have to be consistent. You have to show discipline. And in time, you'll have the proof to show everybody or the people around or the job or the friends or the relationship that you have truly changed. That's how it looks. That's how it operates. I know we don't like to wait on anything, but patience is a virtue. Time is of the essence. Time is of the essence. There are some times where there are signs and people may miss the signs and people may not know or understand, what's really going on. When someone is emotionally given up, they stop complaining. Let's say if it was the fact that it was taking out the trash every day and she stopped complaining about me taking out the trash. I should catch that cue. Wait, why she don't trip about the trash? There's two bags over there. Why she ain't saying nothing? They stop asking for time. They don't want to go out no more, do nothing with you, spend time alone, get the kids out the house. whatever the case may be. Your friends stop telling you to come hang out. Your job start cutting your hours. They stop requesting change. So you don't hear nothing from nobody no more. It's just like it is what it is. They stop reacting emotionally, so it's just a sense of calmness, and they become calm, quiet, and distant, no matter what it may be. When your job, when your partner, when your friend, when your family becomes unusually peaceful, they've already grieved the relationship. They are. When you look at them and look at this, you're like, oh man, they ain't tripping or saying nothing to me no more, and I ain't changed at all. Oh, we good. You think you good? No, they grieve the relationship. They grieve you, whatever situation y'all were in, and they grieved it, and now they ready to move on. That's what happens like that. They've already grieved and they're ready to get on up out of there from you. Silence is not peace at all. It's not peace, but it's preparation for peace. So when you see that they being silent, they not communicating like they used to, they not talking how they did before, you have to understand that at some point you might be go ahead and you might be done for, buddy. You might be done for. But I say that with love and care because I'm also gonna hold you accountable to say if you had all of that time and room to change, what stopped you? Yourself? Selfish. You see what I'm saying? You do it to yourself. Accountability. You gotta own that. You gotta own that. Here's the part people don't want to hear. If someone begged you for change, and I mean begged you, tried and attempted, they warned you, they stayed loyal, they stayed patient, and you still refuse to do the work, like still refuse after all of that, that's wild. Still refuse after all of that, that's wild. You do not get to play victim when they finally leave. Again, you do not get to throw stones and hide your hands. Some of you are dealing with consequences that you personally created. You personally created it, and you're upset at the fact that you have to deal with the reactions or to it now. No, neglect is not neutral. I don't know where you got that from. Emotional abandonment is still abandonment, regardless. It's still abandonment. So you cannot ignore someone's heart and then act like you're surprised when they stop offering it to you. You like, well, damn, they don't cook for me no more. Damn, my friends ain't calling me to come over no more. Damn, my hours went from giving me, I went from 40 hours a week to 15. Like, damn, what's going on? Where everybody at? You can't ignore the fact that you took advantage of something or people or someone or situation, and then see that they understood and was like, hey, I'm good, I'm cool, I'm not gonna be around you no more. But now you upset and you mad? For what? Hmm? What you mad for? Don't be mad. Be understanding like they were with you this entire time. Be patient like they were with you this entire time. But mad, angry, aggressive, upset, disrespectful? Oh no, you have no right to be. You have no right at all. You cannot ignore someone's heart and then act surprised when they stop offering it. You can't. You took advantage of a situation and now here you are. Here you are. It is what it is. It is what it is. So maybe today you realize that you're the one who's giving up, or maybe you realize someone you love already has, given up. But don't wait until silence replaces conversation. So don't wait till they get quiet and they don't want to talk, they don't want to say nothing to you. You know what I mean? Don't wait until effort becomes optional where it's like, I could, but should I? I mean, I can, but will I? I don't know. Do I feel like it? Do I want to? Is it worth it? Those are the kind of questions that'll be asked. You know, don't wait until distance becomes permanent. Cause I put it like this: is some friends I thought I had. We was cool friends, and maybe there were some things back then. I had friends in all types of crowds, but I know that some of them didn't like different crowds I was in, right? And maybe they walked away from me because of that certain crowd they see me around and thought that I would be back around that all the time. And they said, hey, I just can't be in that situation. I am not upset at them if that's the reason they chose to walk away at all. Let's have a conversation about it. Because at that point, I understand why you did. I'm not mad at you. I still got love for you. I respect the fact that you took care of yourself first before you would allow something like that to bother you and agitate you. Just being honest. Just being honest. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is stop begging someone, something, family, friends, relationship, job, whatever it may be. Stop begging someone to love you the way you deserve, right? And sometimes the bravest thing you can do is finally become the person someone has been begging you to be, someone has been hoping for you to be, screaming for you to be, you know? Um, in all honesty, to me, this is your moment. You should choose growth instead of being stagnant. You should choose honesty instead of shortcuts. You should choose your mental health above all, regardless of the day, second, minute, hour. You should always choose your mental first. I feel as if there are, how do you say this? There's a lot of people out there, and you all believe giving up is the fact that you run into one issue and then it's time to go and be done. I, on the other hand, feel like giving up is when I've tried to attack a certain issue or multiple issues from every angle I can, and it's not working. Then at that point, I can't do it. The only thing I will never ever do in a relationship or marriage, whatever, only thing I would never do in the marriage or relationship. Let me talk to it from that point. I would never, ever, ever cheat just to try to get you to change and be better. I would much rather walk away from you and separate myself from you instead of go out there and cheat to make you feel like you need to do better and change. If you are a friend, I am not about to sit up here and manipulate you into making you feel like you need to do this in order to keep this friendship and change. I'm going to make it straight. Well, I mean, I'm not going to manipulate you for it, but I'm going to tell you straight up. These are my boundaries, and if you cannot respect them, we cannot be friends. But I'm not going to make this manipulative like there's nothing on my part that I'm not going to talk to you about it, express to you about it. I'm not going to do none of that. If it's a job, as long as we respect each other, we good, paycheck. We good. We ain't got nothing to worry about. We good. Respect is all I ask for. You know? But when you have a partner or a friend or family, now family, man, that one right there, family push your buttons. But I got to tell you something. Unfortunately, you got to be the most patient with them. That's gonna be the truth. You got to be the most patient with with family, because that's gonna be the ones that's gonna test every button you got hidden, because they know exactly where they all at. I say to people, I was told by a wise person one time that it is not anybody else's job to control your triggers. They don't even know what they mainly are. It is your job to control how you react to a trigger, so that way you can approach a situation in the best and the most positive way or most healthy way without it becoming destructive. And I was like, you know what? I like that. It's going to take a lot of growing and maturing to do, but I like that. And here we are today, and I've taken that advice, and I'm all like, damn, that's true. That's true. I don't expect nobody to control my triggers. I expect me, every time I get triggered, to control it myself and to deal with it in the healthiest way possible. Now, are there some times where I may still say, hey, you know what? Today I'm going to choose the low road, or I'm going to exit the high road. I'm going to get off the freeway because I don't want to take the high road no more. There'll be times like that. But I always process on if it's worth it with me choosing that way, or if it's going to affect it in a completely negative way and it's just not worth it at all. There's like a 1 in 10 chance where it is worth it, which is why it rarely happens anymore. But most of the time, even when I want to be selfish, I'm thinking about everybody else in the situation and how I'll make them feel. You know? Respecting everybody around me. You got to again, respect is the biggest thing possible. Respect is the biggest thing possible. But I basically wanted to bring that up is because don't talk to me about giving up emotionally on something or someone, and you have not taking the right steps, put in the right work, put in the right effort to make the change happen or assist with the change happening. You have to be able to do the work, see the work, be the work if you want to make something work out. So when you tell me that you emotionally gave up because of an argument that y'all had and you didn't actually, go take a walk or take a breather or sit down somewhere and then go talk about it, how are you telling me you giving up emotionally? Were you never there emotionally? Because that's not giving up. At that point, you were just walking away from a situation that served you no purpose. Or was it just for temporary satisfaction? Help me understand, because I don't understand. I'm just being completely honest. So just remember that. Remember that. Please, 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 please do your best job to just take heed of my word on that one. Whenever you're seeing an issue or whenever you're seeing some things happening and you feel like you want to give up, at least put the effort and the work in to try to make it work out or try to get the change to happen before you just say, all right, I'm completely done and I'm over it. That's all you can do. That's all I can ask you to do. Remember, man, this year is all about us focusing on our mental, and I'm here with y'all trying to focus and take care of mine day in, day out, make change, improve, and grow. And we'll do it together. How about that? We'll do it together. But I appreciate y'all again for coming in and checking me out on this wonderful Wednesday. Talk is cheap with your boy Juss Quanni, of course, on the hottest radio station on the planet, Hot 702.5 FM. I'll catch y'all again next week, man. Peace, love, and hair grease. I'll catch y'all next week.
Keep your radio dial right here. You're locked into the hottest news station on the planet. Hot 702.5 in FM sound. Blazing today's hip hop, R&B, and pop music. Keeping your radio on fire. Bringing you the hottest, realest, riskiest talk shows live 24/7 on hot702.5fm.com.